How will the sun die, and what tragedy will befall our planet Earth? Well, they say that various meteorites will fly over Earth, terrible tsunami, risks according to scientists, whether the Earth can escape asteroid impacts or the hypothesis of alien attacks or a nuclear collision. It's certain that the Earth cannot escape the destruction of the sun, but when will this happen? The sun is still alive today, burning hydrogen atoms into helium atoms in its core. In fact, it will burn up in 600 million tons of hydrogen per second. And when the sun's core becomes saturated with its helium, it contracts, causing nuclear reactions to accelerate, which means the sun will expend more energy. In fact, over the billions of years the sun expends hydrogen, it will be about 10 times brighter. And while 10% may not seem much, that difference could have dire consequences for our planet. Julian Scudder, an astronomer at the University of Sussex, said, "Exact predictions for what will happen to the Earth when the sun lights up in the coming years is quite uncertain. It's generally accepted that increasing heat from the sun will cause more water to evaporate from the surface and be held in the atmosphere. The water then acts as a greenhouse gas which can absorb more heat than increase the rate of evaporation. Before the sun," he says, "uses up all of its hydrogen, its high energy light will bombard our atmosphere and split the molecules apart and allow water to be lost as hydrogen and oxygen." He said, "Finally, drain all the water off the land." And as it does not stop there, a 10% increase in luminosity every billion years means that 3.5 billion years later, the sun will be nearly 40% brighter than it is today. It will boil the oceans, melt the ice caps, and take away all the water vapor from it. Only support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. So it does not stop there. The 10% increase in luminosity. Our planet will become hot, arid, and lifeless like Venus. And as time does go on like that, the situation will only become more and more bleak. All good things come to an end. And one day, about 4 billion years or 5 billion years from now, the sun will burn through the last of its hydrogen atoms and start burning helium fuel. Mr. Scudder said, "Once the hydrogen has stopped burning in the core of the sun, it officially deviates from its main orbit and can be considered a red giant. It will take about 1 billion years to expand and burns all of the helium in its core with a small shell around it where hydrogen can still fuse with helium. As the sun sheds its outer layers, its mass will decrease, loosening its gravitational pull in all the planets, so all the planets orbiting the sun will drift a little farther away. As the sun becomes a red giant, its core will become extremely hot and dense while its outer layer expands a lot. And once there, its atmosphere will reach out into the orbits of Mars, which will swallow Mercury and Venus. Once the sun has burned through all of its fuel stores, it becomes unstable and begins to shake. With each such tremor, the sun sheds several layers of its outer atmosphere until all that remains is a hot, massive core surrounded by a planetary nebula. With each passing day, this core, known as the white dwarf, would cool and hopelessly disappear, as if it had never contained the most vivid planet in the universe's landscape. But in all of the scariest planets in the universe, in the vast universe, there are so many planets with many scary mysteries that make scientists feel goosebumps every time they discover such a planet. To determine how long the sun has existed, scientists have observed the evolution of the star LP Puppis, Puppis. This star is 200 light years away from our Earth. In astronomical terms, this distance is pretty close. The researchers used the ALMA radio telescope. The giant telescope ALMA, 16 kilometers in diameter, is made up of 66 radio antennas. Ward Homan of the KU Leuven Astronomy Institute said that through research, scientists have found that LP Puppis is 10 billion years old. 5 billion years ago, this star and our sun were now like twins. Therefore, L2 Puppis will be the key point to answer the questions that we are looking for as to what will happen to our sun. And I've translated this for you from a foreign article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.